Hello everybody, my name is Anthem. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich. And congratulations, you've made it now to 2025. Didn't really quite think we'd get there, but we did it. Look at us go. And we're back again with some more lovely Russia. So, did I even turn off Fog of War? I have not. I am literally recording this like an hour before midnight, so it's still 2024 for like another hour. And I'm extremely tired, but I need to get this video out. So, deploy units. We don't want to do that yet, because we want to save up rifles so we can try to put troops into the North Caucasus. So we can wait a little bit on you. I hope the music's not too loud. I don't think it should be, though. 3 days on you, 9 days on you. Port the military. I mean, right now they're at 5 points. And we have completed army demands, which is actually really good. I'm happy that we did resolve this. So I think we just hold on to the 50 political power for now. And when do our volunteers arrive in Hungary? Tomorrow. Okay. We have our divisions. Did I send aircraft in? We can send one plane. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's see. Let's send in, one fighter squadron I think seems okay. And where do we want to put these troops? Because there's two options. We either try to hold off the Austrians for as long as possible, or we try to kill Galicia, Lodimiria. Bohemia's probably not going to happen. Illyria's probably not going to happen. We try to make Galicia, get the Hungarian troops to go to another border. Maybe that is what makes sense. I mean, dang, this is kind of empty here. Unfortunately, I just don't know where the enemy troops are. Right, I actually don't get to see Hungary's borders, which is a bit of a shame. What do we want for you? 2.5% cheaper weapons. Sure, that sounds great. Ignore you, ignore you, ignore you. Ignore you for now as well. Ignore you. So let's see. I mean, going up to Krakow, I think might make the most sense. How are things going, by the way, in Spain? Could be better. I mean, it could be worse as well. You're not even at the front line. I don't know what he's doing. Hold position for a quick second. Because the Kingdom of Spain will collapse. It's just whether or not the Carlists will succeed. I don't think they will. But we'll see. The land tenure issue. Cossacks in Turkestan have been protesting the violation of land tenure agreements which go back generations. And clashing with the Land Reform Tribunal has sided with settlers on many occasions. Cossacks say that they are due these lands due to a long military service in Russia. My lights just flickered. I hope my power doesn't go out. But the local government, but the local governors claim these lands are mismanaged, and that the only way to properly develop the area economically is to open them up to settlement. I don't know if that's just my lamp is dying. I'm not too sure, but we'll just hope for the best. Unfortunately, we have to take the military anger -1. And not even the political power would honestly be even that meaningful. And we have 2 elite divisions. Let's just send them. I mean, they're already here. We can keep them here. And you actually have too many troops. Let's station you to wherever the hell Green Army is. I don't remember where it's actually located. 2 divisions, 1 division. Maybe we can push through. Again, if we can kind of cut Galicia off, maybe that'll lead to something useful happening. I don't actually know what the victory conditions are for Hungary. I don't know if it's they have to last long enough, or if we need to if we take Vienna, would that end the war in Hungary's favor? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. The National Union of Salardist. The National Union of Salardist is not a political party, but a socio-ideological movement built around Gorgry Konasviks, Mikhail Anaxovics, and Viktor Mikhailovich. I think that's the middle names, not the last names, whatever. Now that in the 1920s, they sought to lobby the Salardist third-way economic policies and came to support the SRS for its land reform efforts and opposition to capitalism. The NSS has always had a reputation of being the bleeding heart idealist to the battle-hardened Soviniks. Still, the organization has remained legal due to its close cooperation with the regime. Many of its members are also members of the SRS. Jokingly, it has been called the Social Democrats of the SRS, a title its members vehemently oppose due to its connection with socialism. Many Salardists have been useful to the regime, especially in the fields of labor relations, organizing artels, and creating a pro-SRS labor movement. So let's see what we can do. 4%. I mean, we want to move more towards them. Minus 6% party popularity, though, huh? How close are we to switching to the next level? 5%. It'll push you to 50. You actually do get more stability off of this. Or hinder their efforts. Let's encourage your work. Apparently 50 is not actually... Maybe it has to be like 50 plus 1. It says 50.00, but maybe it's 50.01. But that is fine. We'll get the stability bonuses later anyways. So. Yeah, let me just take... it's like... It's like right on the cusp, unfortunately. Like, it's right there, but it's just not where we need it to be. See if you can maybe push... I mean, this is the mountain province, huh? 231 defense. Like, this is a weak province, right? If we can take this province, that would definitely cut this in half. So let's see if we can maybe make some sort of maneuver there. Push some pressure here. I want you to put pressure this way, just so this unit doesn't move. Okay, see, this is something I think we can maybe work with, but it's still going to be messy for sure. Chinese gamble. Maybe now we need to start moving our way into Central Asia. What do we have in here? Logistics company. 2 military factories. And cheaper trucks. I mean, not bad. Cheaper infantry equipment. And research bonuses as well. And 20% speed. I mean, that seems like a lot. Unless there's something I'm completely missing there. Trans-Siberian Railway, revenge on the liberals here. Authoritarian Democrats will leave the coalition. Well, what support do they have now? They're not even in the coalition, so they're already gone. SOR figures will be removed. I mean, I guess let's go for a necessary revenge. I think maybe seems okay. Hold position. And resistance of the Alash Party. After the ban of political parties outside of the SRS, the order was contested briefly by a court case raised by prominent Kazakh lawyer and Alash politician Vladikon Tanachev, trying to argue that the constitution of the Alash autonomy protects the rights of political association within the autonomy. The executive order was nonetheless, and unsurprisingly, considering the court is mostly pro-SRS, declared legal by the Supreme Court, and subsequently, the Alash Party was considered abolished. The Alash Party has been a dominant party of the Kaiserreich steppe for the past 2 decades. Ideologically, they've been close to the cadets and have been supporters of the liberal status quo. The Alash Parliament defied this order and continued operating as usual. The Commissar of the Autonomy, Alekan Yemrikov, cannot be removed by the power of the President of Russia as the position is elected. And Yemrikov was defiant, mobilizing Alash's meager security forces and ensuring the autonomy will maintain liberty even if the Federal Republic does not. Okay. Minus 3%. What I'm actually going to quickly do is it's not going to make a big deal for you, but I'm going to end my recording just in case that my computer does crash and the power does go out. There's still at least a little bit left. You won't notice. Okay. I think that little subscribe icon will pop up again, but that's not a big deal. Just subscribe. If you subscribe, then your brain will automatically filter that out. Anyways, we have now cut you off from, or we cut Lydomira off from the rest of the Empire. So how do we make that work for us? 220 defense is pretty good. 23%. I mean, our supplies are not great. Where's your closest supply hub? Not that far. Do we have the trucks for this? It seems like the answer is yes. I'm actually going to get these 2 divisions to last stand where they're at until we get some more reinforcements, which are very good. I mean, if we can take Krakow, that's going to be another supply hub for us that we can maybe utilize. And I'm just trying to check the rest of... I don't like what the hell is happening here. But checking the rest of the front, it seems fairly okay. Also, this seems really bad. I'm actually going to pull these troops up to Zaragoza. Pull these troops back. Then they came for... After the Supreme Court was taken over by Boris Sanikov and other more legally competent judges appointed by President Savikov, The WWII was paid for the beginning of mass trials against the enemies of the people. Former president during the Tambov uprising, Vadim Rudiv, to be shot for the grave abuse of authority, weak supervision of subordinates, grave slowness, negligence, and non-compliance with the established procedure for the performance in a public position. Former President Vasily Makalov is to be imprisoned for grave abuse of authority. Former Chairman of the Constituent Assembly, Pavlov Mikhailov, to be shot for treason and multiple crimes against public law. Vladimir Ricker, a chairman of the SRs, imprisoned for various crimes against the government. The list went on and on. Chairman of the RDP, Vladimir Lensky, was imprisoned. Another notable party member, Alexei Roskov, was shot, like many other former Bolsheviks who had feigned loyalty to the nation. Maria Sprinova and many other former SR terrorists have been arrested, but there remains some doubt over their ultimate fate, as they have undoubtedly contributed much to the Russian Republic during the struggles with Tsarism. So let's see. 50 political power, the fate of the Social Revolutionary Party, and we're at 133. They're at 4, so I mean, they're kind of... Okay, bro, so could be doing some stuff here. Let's do some Peter and Translation program. Followed it up with some mining operations. I think seems decent. Is there anything we can do with you? We can have like a theorist, maybe? Naval theorist, firepower. We don't have science for victory. We don't have will for victory. Land option minus 10%. Elastic defense, suppression barrage. I mean, I guess we'll go for like, I think we want to go science or victory anyways. Or do we want will? Yeah, whatever. We'll choose one of them. We'll get a theorist at some point for sure. We can assign you guys back into the main army. And I don't really want to be pushing my further into Austria. Again, I want to kind of see if we can kill Galicia Lodemiria. Like, we take Krakow, we take Lvov, and maybe that'll be enough for us to actually win. Like, if we're lucky. Again, supplies are limited. I'm not denying that. And Hungarian troop numbers are not really where we want them to be either. Because you're encircled, you're going to get killed off. That lets these troops maybe regroup. Again, like, Hungary's almost certainly doomed. Like, I'm not going to pretend that Hungary is going to, like, somehow win the war. Our main job in Hungary is just delay the Austrian advance, deny the Austrian advance, and I don't know how you put depose in there, but I mean, maybe depose the Austrian government. Maybe, there we go. It kind of works. Military factories. Sounds good to me. Let's get that going. Power reduction is at 5. Still at 7 for German influence, though. I really, really need to get the Germans out of here. Labor Union operation. Mass operation against Russian labor union activists, led by NVD troops and assisted by volunteer Solveniks and local police officers, have begun across multiple Russian cities. Under the law of protection of the state, the authorities have extraordinary powers to investigate, arrest, and punish communist and potential communist accomplices. The large-scale operation was against all Russian Central Assembly for Trade Unions present in Petrograd, many of whom have now fled into hiding, while the VTS-SPS's central organs have already been banned. It has been well known to law enforcement that this has merely led to the underground, something that will end today. To justify mass persecution, a virulent press campaign has been launched as one last charge against Bolshevism. The worst clash happened at the Pitilov factory, which resulted in the hospitalization of at least 20 people, after the workers there tried to resist the arrest. Dozens have been shot and hundreds hospitalized or arrested as the labor leaders have been hunted. There has been solidarity protests and strikes across Russia, but it's clear that under such persecution, legal labor unions are largely being exterminated. At this point, many people are simply trying to get by. As long as the violence does not touch them, given how many members of the VTS-SPS are former Reds, their imprisonment now has been argued by the SRS press as a long-delayed justice for the crimes of the Civil War, which they've escaped through the leniency of the past cadet socialist revolutionary government. Okay, and the fate of the Social Revolutionary Party. How the tables have turned. The SRS, originally a small splinter of those social revolutionaries who put the Russian people first and foremost and washed their hands of politicking, is once again the sole inheritor of the Narodniks. Leadership of the old SRs have been imprisoned or cast to the wind. Much of the SR field organizations have been integrated into the SRS's party machinery. and their rank and file have been encouraged to join the SRS if they wish to continue their political careers. However, a question remains. What to do with the leadership? Savinkov and many of his inner circle are personally sympathetic to the old social revolutionaries, whom they consider as wayward comrades. It has been suggested that Maria Spiranova and a number of other veterans of the SR struggle would be exiled from Russia, instead of being imprisoned like the common people's traitors. Perhaps milder treatment could also encourage more left SRs to join the SZRS's ranks. Give me a 2% party popularity boost, because again, that also leads to a little bit more stability. You were going to leave Krakow, which means I need to move into Krakow as quickly as possible so that we can kind of secure the supply hub. Try our best there. Again, like the Cardist, they should be the weakest link, even though they've done surprisingly well. They don't usually kind of hold that initiative. So hopefully the Cardist will kind of flounder at some point. Fellow travelers. For a long time, the radicalism of the SZRS has kept conservatives at bay. But after the Fentine conflict and the Tambov emergency, popular opinion started to favor Savinkov, who had also started to portray his party as more moderate, disavowing the Soviet terrorist wing officially. When it was clear that the Russian moderate parties had failed, many jumped to successful SZRS's bandwagon, forming the so-called moderates within Savinkov's ranks. The word moderate does not necessarily describe these people accurately. Yes, they generally do not support political violence and absolute dictatorship or any other excesses of the SZRS. Well, when push comes to shove, they're willing to support the Vozd. After all, is he not moving Russia in the right direction? If we cannot have a czar, at least we can have a strong, unifying leader. Liberal democracy failed. The national Narodnik movement may have its radicals, but ultimately they seek to create a greater free Russia for all of Russians, don't they? What are a few thousand political prisoners when the destiny of Russia is at stake? The major names that have risen up as part of this moderate faction are justices like Boris Blishintyev, Maximilian Flenko, cultural influencers like Dmitry Merzhikovsky, and Alisa Brakova, and turncoats from moderate parties like ex-cadet Nikolai Vakar. Nowadays, they form a compliant majority of the SZRS movement, seemingly with a constantly growing acceptance for the current system. Does that mean that you have a... No, because we haven't gotten the Flenko meets the VODs, which is when we know we've gotten up to the next level. That hasn't happened quite yet. Once this battle is done, yes, we can take Krakow, which, yes, means our units now have better supplies, which I'm very happy to see. And the extermination of the Radical Democratic Party. With the federally Supreme Court, the presidential decree to ban the RDP has finally succeeded. Based on the law of protection of the state, arrest warrants have been issued for most of the RDP's leadership, suspected of communistic activities. The spark for the crackdown was a major protest organized by the RDP, who mobilized many against Savinkov's recent political arrest. Marching along Tverovska Street, the demonstration ultimately reached a military cordon station near Red Square. After several attempts by the presiding junior officers to disperse the crowd, a group of protesters ignored his warnings and marched forward to try to break through the line of soldiers. A scuffle ensued, followed by a gunshot of uncertain origin. The inexperienced officer failed to control his troops, who soon began firing to the crowd under the impression that they were under attack. The RDP's chief organizer, Demil Sumilov, rushed forward to try to stop the shooting, but was lightly wounded and dragged away from the scene by his comrades. The soldiers' fire killed 32 people, and more than 200 were injured. Soon thereafter, the organizers were arrested, and the RDP party's offices were raided all across the country. These membership lists were used to track the members and force them to confess to either communist, anti-state activities, or to spying. Most of the leadership were given harsh sentences, and the rest have either gone underground or fled the country. One of the SZRS's goals, a total ban on the Radical Democratic Party as a mere Trojan horse for communism, has finally been realized. Social democracy and radical socialism has gone down. So they were the Social Democrats. Okay. Could go to partial mobilization. I will definitely take it for sure. We have no factories. How? 69 to 69. 45 are given. 45 are given to other countries? Because of German... I didn't... Okay, that's actually... We need to get Germany the fuck out of here, man. We could default on the debt. We are preparing to civilizational struggle. Germany is not going to lend us anything in the future. So why should we care for the bankers in Berlin, trust our ability to pay back or not? The complete end of Vilnius Agreement, more than 40% world tension, army strength ratios 100% or more compared to the Germans. Minus 15% stability is quite a lot. How much? Wait, we have 100% or more? How many troops do they have? 29 to 129. We have 96. And as far as I know, like this number, like it's a range. We don't know the number, but the game knows. The internal logic of the game knows the number. So we know we have at least 100% or more. So at best they have 96. Is it based on divisions? Just army ratio strength. But I'm not 100% too sure how that's calculated. But as far as the game's concerned, very high. When did it get to very high? Did I fuck something up? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it got to 10. Did Germany embargo me, maybe? Quite an adventure. We don't need to worry about that event too much. Can we take in Krakow, though? So where does that leave? I mean, I know Hungary's losing. Galicia, Lodomeria, they're at 58%. America can remain dominant in the legation cities. That's fine. And I want you to push them into Cardist as much as you possibly can. I need to get the Germans out of here, man. More than 100 factories. I guess that's modern. There's so many things I want to press. We haven't decided to focus and help anybody yet. I guess we'll focus on maybe going into Central Asia now. Seems reasonable. Move you up. And I'm wondering if I can, like, maybe somehow snake my way to taking Lvov. Capitulating. I mean, but they're about to lose Budapest. I think the war might... I think our chances are over. Let's send them troops down south. Try to assist them as best we possibly can. Because Hungary... How many troops have we at least killed? 32 to 50. Now, again, Hungarian casualties do affect Austria because they can't take the manpower. Okay. And the casting of the loss. We'll read this event and then the episode will end. The Voss has finally acted. The Moscow Civil Police, headed by Anastasia, or Anastate. That's not it. Anastasi Vonovsky, after extreme investigations, released an extensive list of German collaborators, accusing of plotting to overthrow Savinkov and establish a Bolshevik regime. This list of prominently features political active Jews in Russia, accused of espionage to both the Germans and the Communards, aiding the German economic takeover and facilitating the moral degradation of Russia. The authorities quickly moved to freeze and confiscate the assets of Alexander Gunsberg, a wealthy patron of the Association of Russian Hebrews, derogatorily called Alexander von Gersberg by Solveig-aligned press. Is Von like the royal title? Anyways. The government has also decreed an immediate dissolution of the association, labeling it a hostile entity. Militias affiliated with the Solveniks have reportedly aided the police in uncovering traitors, others subjecting them to particularly brutal violence with the complicity and even the aid of police officers, though the government denies involvement in such events. Anticipating crackdown, Alexander Gunsberg and his immediate family fled to the Netherlands the day before, much to the police's frustrations. The Jewish community in Russia watched in horror as their worst fears have come to life. And I will say with that, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. Team Jordan, thumbs up. Not enjoying, close thumb down. Been a little bit of a long one, but you know what? Starting this year off right. So I'll see ya. Have a great day and goodbye.